It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. This is Top Rope Tokes right there. My name's just saying that person over there. His name?
I am Range of Motion.
No gimmicks tonight.
Yeah,
And we're here to
I'm
review
just real rested today.
not just AEW Dynamite, but a different AEW Dynamite. A grand AEW Dynamite, if you will. It was grand.
A grand slam.
And I don't know if we used these words last week on the show when we kind of compared it to having like a pay-per-view spread over two shows. I mean, granted, all the high-end stuff really happened tonight. Although I did notice that in Rampage, it's going to be a lights out match with Hobbs and Starks. So it's going to get wild.
Okay. I like that.
There's still a lot of matches on that card, though.
Yeah.
Including a Battle Royal.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. That.
I've got a golden ticket.
We got Darby. We got Darby who did his
video package.
8 Mile B Rabbit, leaving with a trash bag thing.
Body bag.
It just reminded me of 8 Mile.
They definitely could have. I don't know if it's because I was probably trying to catch up on notes from whatever happened before, but it took me a second to kind of catch up. I was like, wait, that bag, what's that say? And then kind of figured out as I went, because I only got to see
that B Rabbit.
But
313.
Fuck Free World.
See,
already. There is so much that happened. It's already like still excited for Rampage, but this was awesome and so there was good wrestling.
More than one title changed hands.
Not necessarily the ones that one that you would have thought, yes, and
one that I wouldn't have thought was going to.
Because I selfishly still think Acclaim should have took the titles in Chicago.
Yeah, I think it worked out better this way. You know, even though it would have been cool to see that, but I do think it worked out better this way.
It was a lot less fun for me watching the title change from my own room. And that's why I say selfishly.
You got to see CM Punk win and and get stripped of his title right away. Still not the shortest title reign ever, though.
I don't even know how they come back from that because, God damn it, CM Punk, why you gotta ruin everything?
Yeah.
I still think that tonight should have been CM Punk losing to MJF.
I kind of feel like that's what was supposed to be the match tonight.
Obviously, we got a massively different Grand Slam than that. And also, considering how the all-out scrum went, that's kind of when it got announced that the tag team title match rematch was happening. I don't even know if necessarily if that was planned until Chicago happened.
I feel like that couldn't have been either. It was just, I think this was going to happen. Like the Swerve and Our Glory split was going to happen soon. And they were like, oh, the Acclaimed are this over right now. Let's just go ahead and put the belts on them because everyone loves the Acclaim.
Yeah, because if you're CM Punk, part of the appeal is that you should be like the most over person in the history of being over when you were in Chicago.
Yeah.
He wasn't number 1 in Chicago. He wasn't number 2 in Chicago.
So he wasn't number 2 either.
He could make an argument for number 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he was solidly number 3. I'll say. I'll give him that. But he was 3rd in Chicago. Wow.
I mean, it was going to be hard to top MJF's return. So that one was kind of more of a given. Like, okay, you could expect that to be pretty good. Great. I don't know if they expected the... Would they do? Think that they were lying to us the whole time? Because everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
So
Here I was thinking everybody hated them, and I just loved them because I don't know why. I was like, man, I love the Acclaimed. I hope they do better. And then all of a sudden, we're here.
now let's be honest about it though. The build up to the All Out match and the All Out match itself, we saw Max Caster do more in the ring that we had seen in his entire time in AEW leading up to that. So that was exciting to see. I mean, it didn't really make it matter. Everyone still loves the Acclaim. But then seeing that, it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, Max is definitely like his in-ring. I don't know if he's been training a lot or something, but his in-ring work is definitely a million times better than last year.
I know he got trained up with MJF.
Oh, okay.
So that might actually make it even more interesting when it comes to the Ass Boys versus, I almost said the Gun Club, but the Acclaimed down the line, if that's where it's going to go, because he does have a relationship with Max. Friendship, and I don't know if Stokely goes back or how much maybe they've intertwined in the past, but if they're all friendly, it's probably going to make it for a lot better storytelling.
Yeah. Okay. That would be. I can kind of see that. Yeah, I could kind of see that being a thing.
Well, I mean, if you're going to start off the faction kind of hot,
Yeah, I can see that working.
but
And then
okay,
that way you got your FTR
to take it from the Gun Club,
to take it from who. Yeah,
I still think like we had mapped it out in the past. That would be right around the time that, considering the push that they've been getting, you might be able to pull the trigger on Private Party. But I do feel like you need to get FTR back in there at some point in the very near future, because they've just
yeah.
kind of
So
been
they just
out there for a while.
yeah, and they are consistently like the most popular tag team, other than the Acclaimed right now. Because the Acclaimed are just hot right now, but the FTR has kind of been like, you know,
I mean,
they've kind of been where they are for a while,
let's
and people aren't souring on them.
let's take it back to Blood and Guts. We got to see the Acclaim twice that night. Neither one of their pops were as big as FTR's when they got revealed as the tag team partners for Danhausen.
No, not at all.
So I mean, like, Acclaim was popular, but FTR was one of the, if not biggest pops of that night.
The pop that I gave the Acclaim was one of the best of the night.
So we're gonna get into the show. So let's go from the obvious title change to the not so obvious title change, because Chris Jericho versus Claudio kicked off the show. I did forget that Jericho was born in New York. He got a nice reaction.
Yeah, the crowd loves some Jericho. I mean, everywhere, everybody loves Jericho. Everyone loves some Jericho. Everyone loves the Acclaimed. They should start a Acclaim Appreciation Society called Ass.
That probably could work in something with Daddy Ass as well to it. Just the lettering's too similar that you could probably make something work. But
Yeah.
I mean, to start off, it's a Ring of Honor World Championship match. Ring of Honor matches, you are supposed to start off by doing one simple thing, and it's in the freaking name. I mean, not directly or literally, but honor. Shake hands.
Yeah. Yeah, just do the shake the hands thing. Jericho can't shake hands.
He he
I mean, he
eventually
grabbed
got
his
there.
hand, slapped him,
Pulled up close. Yeah, that's literally my
pulled him up
only
close.
note up until the point that you had mentioned later, in which Claudio catches Jericho going for the code breaker and then he does the lifted like push up or pop up uppercut to him.
Mhm. Yeah, that was kind of weak. Yeah. Jericho threw that old guy. Who's that old guy? The owner?
Oh, his name was Kerry Silken, former Ring of Honor owner.
Yeah.
Use him as a
Yeah.
distraction outside.
Yeah, he used him as a distraction, kind of pushed him into Claudio. Didn't work out because Claudio still came at him with his flying uppercuts.
Not only that, but going back to the whole Ring of Honor aspect of things, Jericho
Mhm.
early in the match went for a low blow. He got caught. He went for it again later in the match. But it's funny because the first low blow, he catches the foot, and he then turns around and hits him with the Ricola bomb, but match isn't over yet.
No.
I don't have anything else to the end. Anything you need to want to point out?
Nope. That giant swing was forever.
Yeah. So he streams it. I watch it on cable. So I'm ahead of him by usually in the beginning of the show it doesn't feel as bad, maybe like 15-20 seconds, but usually by the end of the show it feels more like 30-35. Gets a little bit worse, but at one point he was still swinging them and I thought he had started already for you. No, it had gone on for that long that I thought it surpassed all the delay, and I'm like, yeah, he's still going, by the way.
No, he wasn't swinging him that long, but he was swinging him for a long time.
I think Claudio might regret how many times he said the word long
Ew.
in his promo.
Well, I mean, he said he just had to uphold it. I'm gonna swing him for a long. I didn't know that's what he meant. Was it gonna be long? Was the swing? But Claudio's a swinger.
But
Swingers do it. Swingers do, baby.
and it ends up Claudio stops himself from running into Arbery in the corner, and while Ref is distracted and the vision's impaired, Jericho gets to hit the low blow this time and the Judas effect for the win.
I forgot.
What's
They
that?
did one of those like slingshot things. Is that what it's called? A slingshot? Like into the turnbuckle. They used to do it a whole lot back in the day in wrestling. Nah, that's the first time I've seen one of those.
Oh, the catapult thing?
Yeah, catapult. Yeah, that.
Where you kind of like set up like a Boston crab, but you fall backwards and fling them up into it?
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one of those in a while. I thought that was cool to see that.
It's like 99% of the AEW roster would be quick and agile enough to just land on their feet and keep going.
Right. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't make sense with most of them.
But Jericho Appreciation Society came out to the ramp to celebrate, and eventually Daniel Garcia does too, and kind of half-heartedly gives Jericho a high five and stays in the background.
Mhm. Yeah, he's probably not happy about Jericho's stolen belt.
It's like it's Ring of Honor. I'm a Ring of Honor champion, and I just watched you cheat so damn much.
Yeah, it's supposed to be honorable. Old Jericho.
It's Ring of Honor. You should be the BW, not the BC. Next, there's a little video package for the world title. Not gonna go super much into it. It's the same video kind of promo package that they did Road to Grand Slam. Danielson just recaps that he has 4 losses in AEW, and he's avenged all of them besides Mox, and that's who he's facing tonight.
Yeah. I didn't know that he had beat everyone that's beaten him so far, except for Mox.
Yeah. So lost to Hangman, beat him in this tournament. Lost to Mox, was about to face him in the tournament. Lost to Jericho at All Out, turned around and beat him as a part of the tournament. The only other one was Garcia when they had that series.
Yeah.
But then we get to possibly the real main event of the show. We already kind of talked a good amount about it, and it was predictable because the next match was the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. I did not take any notes on Max's rap. I know it got a couple decent lines, and then some kind of felt, I don't know, wordy or just too much thought or obscure.
Yeah, I only took down one line from that, and that was when he called them Swerve in Our Glory hole.
That's the only thing I remembered.
I was like, all right, well, that one was good.
I think instead of the Drake and Josh line, he compared them, both of them, because one was in blue, one was in red, but they called them like a Pepsi 2 liter.
Okay, yeah.
Just dope. Now, I should say, there's a very good reason that maybe some of his stuff was a little bit harder to hear. Maybe it was just not as good in a combination of the two. But
yeah,
how loud was it, Range?
That was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard. Like, as loud as like CM Punk's return from his injury. Loud. The crowd was loud as hell when the Acclaim showed up.
I guess we gotta go back and we gotta play those ones from All Out that we can actually see on TV. I did try to find an Acclaimed one from All Out entrance. Mm-hmm. However, it's missing when the music first hits. It's like the rap part. I was looking. I should be able to find a good MJF. I'll be able to find a couple of them just so that way you can kind of tell words, because we know how loud it was during the tag team match at All Out, and we also know how loud it was when MJF came out. It's a lot easier to try to compare since we've been in that situation now to how things translate on TV, like how loud it was, how loud it translates on TV to, you know, see how others compare. But I still stick with give me all the matches, because our crowds are always loud as fuck.
Yeah, I don't want to get off topic of it, but when I went back and watched Blood and Guts, I was like, oh shit, so it was loud. Because on TV it was loud.
So that's why
I was just like, I might be biased because it was my first AEW show, but that was loud.
That's why I figured if we can get the same stuff from All Out to where we can kind of play and compare, and then compare it to like what we saw tonight, it's just gonna be so much easier to imagine being in those environments now that we've been there. Man, this is some terrible lo-fi music. I changed it. Max, of course, after All Out, he had to hit another like big move on big old Keith Lee. This time it looked like a suplex, but they said he kind of tucked it at the last second, and they called it a brainbuster.
Yeah, it didn't look much like a brainbuster to me, but it was.
I mean, either way, the point is he got him up and over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, say Max is because Max, when he's out there with Keith Lee, you forget that he's actually a big dude.
That, and also when he's standing next to Billy.
Yeah. Let's say Billy Gunn and Keith Lee out there are gonna make Max look little, but Max is not little at all.
They make Max
He's one of the bigger guys on the roster.
look average for AEW and makes Bowen look small. Bowens is probably average for AEW, and Max is big.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah.
But we talked about it a little bit earlier. We finally got to the point where you can see the cracks and the faults forming. Swerve in Our Glory is not officially, but they're done. Because what led to the end of this match was Swerve and Keith Lee over the head with the boombox on accident.
Yeah, it's not looking good. That feud is going to be fun, though.
He swerved that boombox right into Keith Lee's dome. He was trying. Yeah. To be fair, we should clarify. It wasn't purposeful or anything like that. He went for Max and missed. Because Max is the greatest wrestler alive. That's his Twitter handle.
Of course it is. Greatest wrestler alive. Oh, Max.
Now, this is where I first got nervous, because after that boombox shot, Max went for the mic drop. Knee gave out on him. And that's when I started to actually be like, shit, what's happening? I thought this was going to be the end.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the second mic drop attempt.
I don't remember the first one off the top of my head.
Yeah, because there was one before this. I can't remember exactly what's going on. I refused to take notes on that one because I just wanted to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, we muted each other and turned this stuff way up. We wanted the environment since we couldn't be there.
Yeah, but yeah, after he missed this, the one where he jumped short and his knee was hurting him. That second one, I was like, okay, so they're setting up for him to hit this third one and win the belts with this. So I knew from there that this was definitely an acclaimed win, no matter what Swerve in Our Glory does here.
Now, the next thing out there, at one point, and let's go back to the fact that we said, Max is not little. Keith Lee had Max on his shoulders and just tossed him off of his shoulders over to Swerve perfectly into a sit-out powerbomb, which of course Max kicked out of. He's the greatest wrestler alive.
Yeah, he is. He's the greatest.
Oh God. After that, I just really have the end of the match, starting with everything on the outside. And I'm losing my voice. That's not good.
Oh. Yeah. I don't actually have anything else here.
Swerve.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't take any notes at all.
I don't know exactly, because it was kind of in between, but Swerve did his little 450 over the top rope to the outside on everybody, got into Billy's Gunn's face, and Keith Lee had to pull him away. Because Keith Lee, seemingly the story is Swerve doesn't care how he wins, he's going to win. Keith Lee wants to do it with honor, with dignity, with class. So he tries to pull Swerve away, and as the ref's kind of following them around the ring, Swerve takes a step at Bowens. Bowens hits a forearm, and he stumbles right into Billy Gunn. Daddy ass delivers the famouser, rolls him in the ring. Bowens hits the arrival. Caster hits the mic drop, and then I think Caster drop kicks Lee off the ring apron while Bowens got the pin.
Yep. That was it there.
And they got the confetti.
They got the pink confetti.
I mean,
It's almost Breast Cancer Awareness Month, everybody. Save the titties.
Range's real birthday present every single year. He gets to, as soon as October rolls around and his birthday hits, he gets to yell to save the titties as much as he wants. Nobody can judge.
Because we like to save titties.
Swerve and Keith Lee did not leave together.
No. I think that means that things are coming to a head at the next Dynamite.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a backstage segment of them like not happy about losing. It wouldn't surprise me if that was a quick like 30 seconds to a minute video on Rampage even. Like after Dynamite, or just one of those quick little ones.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like a whole big old interview with them in the ring.
I don't
that way they can get their back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I don't want talk show Swerve in our glory. I mean, I want them to talk eventually. I don't know if talking out their issues is necessarily want.
Oh yeah, we forgot Fabulous came out.
And
and DJ Wu Kid.
I was gonna say there was another one, I couldn't think of it for a second.
Yeah, Fabulous came out with Swerve. DJ Wu Kid came out with the Acclaim.
That combination feels much more age appropriate.
Yeah.
Next, we get our first of 2 straight segments with Tony Schiavone, which makes a whole lot less sense because he gets his ass kicked in the first one. I mean, they explain it, but yeah, it's just kind of weird. Tony Schiavone, in our first kind of talking bit, is on the ramp with Wheeler Yuta. The whole point's just to do more hyping up of the main event, since he's friends with both of them. He didn't get really far in this interview because there was another massive pop.
Yeah. MJF interrupting him.
I'm surprised
he called Wheeler Yuta mid.
Do you know about the mid promo?
No.
He was in Ohio and he was talking shit and he started talking about the Midwest. And he's like, it's appropriate because everything here is mid. And he just went on a rampage about calling everything mid. So yeah, it applies to us too. It sucks.
The Midwest is kind of mid, you know.
It's not wrong. I mean, name a city in the Midwest that compares to like LA, New York City, etc. They don't.
Yeah.
I've seen him do this in his interview tours. He did refer to his fans as the devil worshippers. He did on TV call them the Blackpool Cuckold Club. Number of things. I mean, he ran down. He said you can learn from Bryan Danielson. How to be injury prone, to your brain be mushy. You can learn from Moxley. Wait, you can't learn nothing from him. He's not all there. And he goes to say you can learn about popping pills from Regal, and Yuta slaps the shit out of him. Don't talk about my dad that way.
Oh man.
My father's wushu is better than your father's wushu.
Like, MJF completely ignored Yuta's whole thing with his engagement and how his fiance is smart, so she's gonna walk out on him at some point.
Yeah,
he's just like, oh yeah, that was better from you.
I will say he did start off this with a good, like, oh, what's the matter, Wheelsy? You're mad you're never gonna get a pop like the one you just heard? Because MJF came out on cloud nine, like practically dancing to the middle of the stage. But
yeah. He was doing his best Ric Flair. That's for sure.
But when the brawl broke out, after like one quick strike to Yuda, he just starts shoving Tony, who's already like going to the ground, like starts shoving him on the ground, gets in his face until Yuda comes back through him. And then I don't know where he came from, but Morrissey came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he came from somewhere.
And I don't know how you do that when you're 7 feet tall.
Camera angles, man. Camera angles.
But
they didn't show what was going on wherever he came from, so we don't know what happened.
Did one of those like neck nerve hold things where he was like choking him just by grabbing both sides of like this area. Until MJF just blasts him with the diamond ring, and that's when they leave.
That diamond ring. Yeah, and MJF commentary was talking about how despicable MJF is and how he's going to be fined for this.
So while they're checking on Tony and asking if he's all right, they say, "Hey, let's go to the interview that you did earlier today with Jade and the baddies." Like I said, it was explained. It was weird. I have nothing in between.
The FTR promo.
Oh, does that count? I didn't even take notes. I forgot.
Yeah. Let's see, wait, there was something else in there. Because, yeah, after the Acclaimed win, this promo came out. FTR just congratulate the Acclaimed on winning the belts.
I remember.
Basically, they don't really even say much at all. And then here comes the Gun Club talking a whole bunch of shit. We're more talented, more charismatic. We're younger. We're more good looking.
They did the whole top guys out thing and took off, but
yeah, oh yeah, they just said, yeah, we're younger FTR, top guys out.
And they even did the like the forearm like hug thing or whatever that FTR does.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about it because I was like, it popped up and like with you on delay, you were still reacting to the Acclaim win, and I'm like, hold on, FTR. And then it was just ruined by the ass boys, and I feel like this is going to be one of those situations that you and I are going to split on and differ on quicker than others, because you're all aboard Stokely. I mean, I like Stokely, I like MJF, all that other stuff. I like what's going on there. You're already calling them the Gun Club, and I refuse.
Hey, man. I'd never really called them ass boys.
Ass boys. I got a feeling it's gonna die soon. Like, it's getting taken too seriously. Danhausen's kind of away from them. I'm just going to let you take the Tony Schiavone and the baddies one, because your reaction at the end of it you're gonna be able to elaborate a lot more than I will.
Let's see. 15-year-old David is so hyped for Rampage right now. Yo. Jade's starting her promo.
Cut the shit,
By
Tony.
the way, they bleeped out shit, and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, it was awkward. It wasn't even your normal like beep or whatever. It was different.
Yeah, they beeped out their shit. They should never do that ever again. But anyways, as they beeped out Jade's shit, Diamante was pretty much right there, ready, interrupts her. And she was like, oh yeah, it's time to let you know who I brought. I brought the OG baddie, Trina. So yeah, she's going to have the rapper Trina with her on Friday. And she was one of my like crushes back when I was like 14, 15. So
I'll be honest, I had no fucking clue. I'm sitting here thinking wrestler or something. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, she's a rapper.
It's funny because at first Jade was like, I don't care, I don't care. She name drops Trina, and Jade's like, what? I thought that was your girl. To like Kiera, who's like, you can't even see Kiera on the screen, really. She's behind the other person. And then as soon as she sees Trina, they have like, what? Like 3 words exchanged and trash talk, and Jade's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yep. Yeah, Jade was real pissed. I would be too if you had Trina, because she is the original baddest bitch.
Is this the most shook we've ever seen Jade in her AEW career?
Yep. Definitely.
And it's not even from a wrestler.
Yeah, it's because Trina's the baddest bitch, man.
I just did the math because you just said 13, 14 years old. And I just did the math on how long ago that was.
How long?
And just to put into like context of,
yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Because she would have been older than us then, right? By how much? I was like, it's not even that she's just not a wrestler, but she's also probably closer to double.
Like, I'm gonna say at least in her 50s.
Yeah. So I was like, probably kind of nearing double Jade's age.
Yeah.
Not quite there.
But she's still the baddest bitch, though.
I don't know if she was supposed to be acting tough, if she lacks charisma, but it was basically during all her lines, it was just resting RBF.
Yeah. There wasn't there wasn't anything to what she was saying to me. I was just like,
I know you.
Hey, remember me? I watched your music videos all the time. All the time.
Next up, we had the Orange Cassidy versus Pac match. I don't really have anything until the whole thing about Orange Cassidy rolling away and it pissing off Pac like it did in previous matches. And so then Orange Cassidy did the foot spot where he just raised his feet up in the air. He's like, come on, jump down.
Yeah.
So you don't want me rolling away? Okay, come on.
I don't know if I missed it, but there was Pac usually does this like brain buster from the top turnbuckle, and I love it. And I did not see it.
I did not see it tonight.
Yeah.
And you specifically said you wanted to see it, and that's when the match had already started. I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking for it. Because you know, I love me a good brain busters.
Honestly, that's one that surprised me, is like when you see it specifically Takeshita, your reactions, I mean, they look good. It's just, it's in my head. I'm like, that move has stuck with David, the brain buster.
Yeah, I like brain busters.
You should hear
when Takeshita just happens to be the best at it.
You should hear what it gets called in Japan. Not what it's called, but when it's called, like how it's called. Like, so they'll go in Japanese, and then they'll just kind of sound like someone in Mexico doing football or soccer calls when they yell goal. They'll be like they'll go from all the Spanish or Japanese in the world to brain buster and like
brain buster.
After an orange smoke, Pac rolls ringside, and he ends up going over, stumbling over to the timekeeper's table. His hands on like a belt, but he also grabs the bell hammer. Kind of grabs Orange Cassidy when he comes from home, puts him in like headlock, smacks him with the hammer, and gets the win. Back in the ring. Not the kind of way you usually see AEW matches end. It was different.
Yeah, that was very, very not AEW way of ending a match. Plus, I thought this match was going to be possibly even though I'm biased with having Swerve in our glory and the acclaimed, I still thought that this match might possibly be the best match of the night, and it was not close.
No, I mean, I've seen them go at it a few times now, and so like obviously know that they can put on a crazy good match. It'd be very similar to like Forbidden Door with Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay. They can go.
That's what I was hoping for.
But I'm thinking maybe with as much as everything else that's happened in the show, having this kind of finish for one match is fine. Because it's probably going to build to something else. So, God, there's literally 2 matches left and 1 quick video package, and so much happened. Because next was the women's fatal 4-way title match. It basically went, Brit had the first entrance, you had good crowd reaction, and then it just got quieter with every entrance that came out after that. Until you got to the champion Tony's store.
Yeah, Serenity did not get the least reaction, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Give mommy some love.
It's literally in my notes to start. Okay, so when I write these notes, when I drop down the line to start talking about the match, like I'll do it like a title header thing, like this match, and then drop down. Well, to change the colors and everything, I have to start writing something and then change it back. So I put women's 4-way title match, and then just to get my first text so I could kind of get back to normal color, I wrote Deeba's mommy, M-A-M-I. Love you, Deeb. You should have beat. You should have beat Rosa some months back for that championship, and honestly, the title wouldn't be in such bad spot right now because you had a great promo back then.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
I feel like she's starting to build up some momentum to where maybe she might get in that kind of, or maybe it's just my hopes just to see someone as good as her.
I think maybe the TBS down the line, like after Jade drops it to a babyface. I'm not sure with her how much. I don't know her age. I don't know how around she wants to be. If she's more of a player coach where she's happy with that role because she's been around for a while.
Yeah.
That I don't know if top champ is in her future, but a lot of that's going to depend on what she wants for her career and, you know, obviously reactions down the line.
It just seems like she's kind of been gaining some momentum recently.
Mm-hmm. Because you heard it when she went up against Madison Rayne. They outright called them coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that their main role is necessarily there to be the stars. So I don't know.
So maybe not, but
and so I'm like, TBS would be great.
I'd be down.
If she is a coach, that's why TBS would kind of be great, because it's the stepping stone before the world, so it's kind of the perfect time to work with somebody like Deeb. I do want to see her celebrated. I really do. When she starts wrestling, like, you can tell that she knows what the fuck she's doing, and whoever she's working with might not, because she is just flipping people over, turning limbs, and doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're doing anymore. You're doing stuff I don't even see Danielson do.
Yeah, she's like a salsa partner, and she's just like leading them into whatever the hell she wants to do next.
So I had seen this spot online in the indies recently, so then I got to see this spot in this match. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but it's when Athena had Tony Storm set up in like a powerbomb position.
Yeah.
And Tony went to do the backdrop. Athena hits the ropes, bounces back over, back into the powerbomb position, picks her up into that like dominator spot, when she rolls her off into the knees. That did not get her the win, and they had a nice close up of her shocked David Bowie painted face.
Yeah. I mean, I knew she wasn't going to get the win there, but they made her look really good in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Or they let her do a lot of stuff to look good in this match.
She got the power bomb.
Yeah.
I realized with her, it's probably mostly her height that didn't help with the framing of that and how it looked.
It was kind of goofy, but I feel like it would have looked goofy no matter what, though.
Because she is strong, and we saw that a little bit later when she was carrying two of them at the same time. I don't remember how that worked out, but she had two of them at one time.
She just hold on too long.
Yeah. But
we didn't see a whole lot of deep counters.
Deeb, when she would get on her technical roll, she'd be on a freaking roll. So good. But speaking of technical, ends up Brit is going for a crucifix pin on Tony. Tony counters that into her own crucifix pin, gets the win. After the match, Brit attacks her. Jamie comes down. Another person who gets a better reaction than Tony Storm.
Oh, Brit was bleeding a whole lot there at the end.
At first,
they talked like a nosebleed.
At first, they mentioned possibly the nose because she did break her nose before, and like Rebel was kind of tending to her in the corner towards the end of the match. But then they mentioned maybe it was something in her mouth.
Well, she can fix her own teeth.
Yeah, the discount on that bill must be very, very nice.
If you go to your own practice.
Yeah, but Brit goes to attack Tony after Jamie comes out. Looks like they're about to go at it. Nope. Jamie turns and they both hit Tony at the same time. It's 3-on-2 for a minute because Deeb comes back in. They're just, beating him up. And then music hits. Music that we do not know.
Yeah.
And then there's a name that pops up.
A person that I didn't know.
That name is spelled S-A-R-A-Y-A. And I've already determined is going to be on the thumbnail of this video.
It's a riot.
Formerly known as Paige from WWE. When she comes down to the ring, everybody clears out and they just stand around the ring kind of shock-faced. And literally, Saraya never had a mic. And she showed she has more charisma by miles than every other woman on the AEW roster not named Britt Baker. She's still got Britt beat, probably, but not by miles like everybody else.
And here she comes. Here comes Speed Racer.
Just wait till you get the full backstory on Saraya / Paige.
Yeah, because I mean, she's like Jessica Jones, so there's that.
And I don't even mean just wrestling either. She grew up very publicly because she was very young when she went to WWE, and there was very much young, dumb, and stupid things that happened in her life. It affected her career and her injuries, so. What kind of story that they tell with her could be very, very interesting. No matter what, it's got to be more interesting than the next video package, which is the one you refer to Darby traveling down 8 Mile.
Yeah.
He's literally dragging a body bag through New York, even onto the subway, and then into a taxi.
Yeah, he was he reminded me of Bunny Rabbit from 8 Mile,
But
carrying his trash bag away.
so he gets into this taxi, he throws a body bag in there that says House of Black on it. And he starts off with, I'm going to a funeral. And then says Arthur Ashe. I'm sorry, if I'm a taxi driver, I don't care that you're in New York and you see people doing strange things on the street all day, like in Times Square and stuff. Yeah, throw a body bag in my taxi and say you're going to a funeral. I'm going to be like, this is fucking weird. And that's without even including that half your face is face painted. Because that's probably the most normal thing about the situation in New York City.
I'm just wondering, is this going to be like
A body bag
like
match or something?
Malachi Black's funeral he's going to, since he's not AEW anymore?
I'm not sure.
They're gonna be like, this is the death of his AEW career or something. I don't know.
That'd be weird. Like, maybe symbolically, I don't know if they'd be so overt. Like, maybe you have like his mask or
Yeah.
something on it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I don't think they'd be like, here lies Malachi Black or something like that. But something subtle.
You know what wasn't subtle? MJF in the world title match. You were guaranteed to see MJF on the screen like every 5 seconds throughout this world title match. He had a suite overlooking, which they had a spotlight on, which they framed certain shots to make sure you could see them. Okay, that's fine. But back to the word subtlety.
I was surprised that I still enjoyed the match, to be honest, with how many times they just cut to MJ. Like they would do a split screen, which
Is not
I
subtle.
didn't really like. But then they would just flat out cut to MJF with no match view. And I was like, all right, come on. If he's not going to go out there tonight, then cut the shit.
Because
AEW.
I could deal with this for like a couple of matches to kind of build to something. But they can't do this every week. It'd be way too annoying. It'd probably get tiresome very, very fast.
Yeah. It got tiresome to me tonight already. I was like, I don't really feel like this is fair to Mox and Danielson.
Especially in the last couple, like 2 to 3 minutes of the match. Because there was a time where they quit cutting to him for a few minutes. And it felt like it would have been at the perfect time for if he was leaving up there to come down. But
you would be able to see him still, like in the shots occasionally.
But then, like the last 5 minutes, every time there was a near fall or something, it was right to MJF. Every time a big move, right to MJF. We already see enough cuts in wrestling. We don't need even more unnecessary cuts to that extreme.
Yeah. Yeah, like we all love MJF, but come on, guys. I wanted to see a good match, and I just saw MJF's face. Pretty much still not doing anything.
As far as the match itself goes, it's the top 2 guys from BCC. It's exactly what you would expect from a match featuring 2 BCC people. Towards the end, the Psycho Knee kick out, a stomp, which if you don't know the extent of this, you remember when they made the reference about his former faction in WWE, him being the 3rd best?
Oh yeah, I know about
the Shield.
What are they? Shield, yeah.
Seth Rollins uses the stomp.
Seth Rollins, yeah.
So the stomp came from Seth Rollins. That's what he uses. So, like, makes sense. Like to beat one friend, he was pulling out a move from another friend. But
Yeah.
so then he hit that stomp, and then the Death Rider. Danielson kicks out. Danielson does Danielson stomps, puts him in a triangle. Mox tries to escape, and Danielson turns into a label lock. Still isn't enough.
Dude, that leg capture, like the release suplex, like half Northern Lights suplex, because it was like he had him like in the half Nelson instead of full Nelson,
The one where he landed
like
like
normal.
directly on his head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. That one. Get that graphic up for me, please.
So Danielson took the kind of Danielson bump that you don't want Danielson to take, considering neck injuries and concussion history. It was ugly.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty looking because he definitely looked like he dropped on his head. They didn't replay it. I wanted to see it again, but he, yeah, he had him. He had his leg. What was the counter that was happening there?
I do not
He had his leg.
remember. Were they possibly trying to fight up from the hammer and anvil elbows or something and grabbed his leg or something like that?
I think this was this after the kicking each other spot? No, this was later. That was later.
I remember one kicking each other spot happened in the opposite corner of the ring.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that one was later. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but somehow Mox ends
Tried
up
to murder him.
like he had his leg captured already, and he drops him in a half Nelson.
Yeah. Anyone that has that history of neck and head issues always worries me with those ones.
That was pretty nasty. Another thing here, very important thing, probably the most important thing to this match. Why are Mox's pockets out the whole time? This really bothered me.
The only
and
pockets I want to
why.
see on AEW TV belong to Orange Cassidy, damn it.
Yeah. He is not Orange Cassidy. He is John Moxley. Those are so different. You hear that? Orange Cassidy, John Moxley. Put your pockets away.
But in the end, Moxley did a Death Rider on the ramp / stage. So it was different tonight. It was one of those old school. It was on a ramp downward, but it went right to the ring apron. So it didn't go to the floor. So after he hit the Death Rider, Danielson just kind of kept rolling into the ring, which made sense momentum wise because it's down a ramp. But at the same time, I think it was more so, hey, dude, we only got a couple minutes left. We have to hurry this shit up.
Yeah, like I can't keep. We could go forever, but we don't have time to go forever.
Because I think he went for the pin. Kick out.
Mox got robbed on the way to the ring, apparently, because his pockets were still out.
But he ends up putting Danielson into a choke. Danielson goes to roll out of it, but he holds on to it, ends up being able to lay on top of Danielson while sitting in the choke, putting all of his weight on him, and stays there until he passes out. And Mox is now a 3-time champion. And at this point, it was already 9:59, so we already knew for a good couple minutes, MJF was not coming to save the day.
He just sat there and they cut to him, and he just didn't look impressed. What else? But that means I feel like so what is he going to do here? Is this just going to be the MJF show until he decides to cash it in? Because I feel like if you're cashing it in, you cash it in right at the win, right?
Unless he just, here's what could be the final straw. It wasn't worth cashing in on Moxley because it's Moxley, and he just had a match in which he wasn't bleeding.
I didn't think about that. Dude, if we made bets about about when Mox bleeds in this match, we would have both lost.